Driving baseline.
Guys, welcome back to the Hoop Portal. Tonight we were hopeful for Dylan Harper versus Kon Knueppel in a pretty big summer league game to see who could get a spot into the semifinal for the summer league tournament. But the Spurs ended up sitting Dylan Harper. But if you watched the last video, we got some into Carter Bryant, and he showed tonight without Dylan Harper the type of offensive game that he could have in the NBA and the type of impact he could have, as well as Kon Knueppel. The interesting thing too about it, if you were able to watch the game, and you'll see in the highlights later, but they do similar, like they will score points and they find ways to put the ball in the hoop, but it's just such a different way that they do it. You see the athleticism, the skill, just the raw talent of Carter Bryant, and then you see the high basketball IQ, the getting to their spots, being a little bit shifty and creative as a Kon Knueppel. But Kon finished the game with 19 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and Bryant went 16 and 5 on 6 and 9 shooting. Super efficient, very similar stat lines for both of them. But we'll get into the film. We have a super simple. He's just ready to catch and shoot. Charlotte actually went in his zone, which Carter Bryant basically by himself really obliterated it in the first quarter. Again, he's just his hands are ready, his feet are set. It's a 1-2 step right into his shot. Super smooth, super silky. Couple possessions later, he comes down, takes one dribble, sets his feet basically from the same spot, and is able to knock down the transition three. And that's the scary thing too, where is if he's able to defend and then get out in transition and knock down 3-pointers at a high clip, it makes him a serious threat in the NBA. And the Spurs have just got another absolute stunning piece to add to this roster. Here we see him get 2 feet in the paint, stop and pop on a dime. Super simple. Kon Knueppel is actually the main defender, and another guy comes in to try to help. But it's just super simple basketball, and at that height, that size, it's just unguardable. He kind of looked like KD a bit with that release point at such a high release point. This next possession, he gets the rebound, keeps it himself, brings up the court. One simple rip move and two-hand dunk at the other end. Again, this is what can make him so scary, is that he can defend, rebound that same shot with two hands, get out in transition, and then throw it down with two dunks, beating by the defenders. Last little possession we've got here with Carter Bryant. He's tracked down a loose ball. He's got a few seconds left on the shot clock. And again, you just see the ability to just take one dribble, hop, step into that three, feet are set, and it's cashed. If he's able to do that in the NBA, I think there's a realistic chance that Carter Bryant, not this year, but in the future, could be the Spurs' third player. I still think Wemby obviously is the best player on the team, and he's going to be for a long time. And Harper is going to be right there in that mix. But it's Bryant and who kind of comes in next, whether it's Bryant or Stephon Castle. And honestly, I think Bryant could easily do it. He's in a situation where he can get developed. The Spurs are going to work with him. They had a player who I think, honestly, he's starting to remind me of as well as Kawhi Leonard, but with that 3-point game. If they develop him, they let him take his time. He doesn't have to be this superstar right away. He could be someone that's really dangerous in the next couple of years. Next up now, we get into Kon Knueppel's games. And first bucket we're going to see here, we see the relocation of him, moving his feet, getting to the spot, gets shut down, but again, he relocates to a new spot, gets 2 feet in the paint, and finishes up above the defenders. This is such a different game than what Carter Bryant has, but it's still so smooth, and he's still able to just get to his spots, and he keeps the basketball super simple. This next play is a super smooth little jab step, 1-2 step back, hits nothing but net. If he's able to do that consistently, I mean that's ridiculous. A few plays later, what we see here is now not only is he able to, in the last clips, he's able to get to his spot with the ball. What you see on this is the basketball IQ. Okay, ball is on opposite side of the court. Let me space out. I already see the advantage. Charlotte has a 2-on-1 situation on the left side because the Spurs have overhelped. What happens is this ball swings and he's calling for it to swing over there. Hands are ready. One more. Ball gets swung over. Now he's got Carter Bryant closing out on this shot. The thing that makes Kon special and what makes really good shooters special is how quick they can get from this point to ball released. If he is hesitating or waits just even a half a second, Carter Bryant is contesting the shot, if not blocking it. But in this situation, his hands are ready, ready to shoot, fire, bucket. And on this next one, we see this is his last bucket of the game. On this last one, we see him again being able to say, okay, I'm going to get to the spot. I'm going to fade away on the baseline, turn opposite shoulder, fade away to the baseline. Anybody that hoops knows how difficult of a shot that is. And if he's able to consistently do things like that, he's going to be a really, really good piece for the Hornets. And this last play, I think, is just, again, the basketball IQ. He's able to just get the ball. He knows PJ Hall's there, flip it behind his head quick. PJ gets it and lays it in. This is where I think both of these guys, they play so differently, but they're just such good players. Um, and specifically in the first quarter of this game, Bryant scored 11 in the first. And K Nips, yes, that is what we're going to refer to him as from this point on. K Nips finished the quarter on a 7-0 run by himself. That just shows you the ability to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to establish myself as the best scorer on the court. And he did so. At the beginning of the clip, beginning of this video, we saw a dunk by PJ Hall, which basically ended the game. Charlotte found themselves up 30 points in the third and almost got to 40. But the game really slowed down after that. But the first half was really good, and they still showed flashes in the second half. But the game was just a bit of how much is Charlotte going to win by, so they could clinch that spot in the semifinal, which they did. So I think them and OKC right now are the two spots that are clinched. Everybody else is kind of up for grab. Game shout outs, though. A couple game shout outs for this one. Some guys that we didn't really talk about. Harrison Ingram, 17 points tonight. Also, shout out to PJ All, who finished with 8 and 6. KJ Simpson continued. He scored 19 points, which is what his average has been in the summer league. So he continued to ball out for the Hornets. And yeah, honestly, I'm glad these guys have got to the semifinal. They've been pretty fun to watch. I was worried about which four teams were going to be in that and if it was going to be intriguing. But I think San Antonio's out, but Harper's sitting. The Mavs are out, Flag sitting, but I hope the Hornets continue to play these guys. They've been really fun to watch, and we'll see who else ends up in the semifinal. But you know what it is. Enter your name in the portal, and to do so, hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on, and look out for the next video. Thanks, guys.